All right, we are back, and I hope you had a good lunch. The second half of this class, we're going to go over how to take information from an article or a website and put it into a Google document or a project that you're doing without plagiarizing. And there's certain things that you have to do. The first thing is when you take information from an article and you take it out verbatim, which means word for word. When you take it out verbatim and put it into your document, you need to add quotation marks because you have just created a quotation. One of the common mistakes that I see made at this level is that I tell you to go in and find a quotation, and then I have students looking through their article and being frustrated because they're not finding actual quotation marks in their article, so they can't find a quotation in the article. But by taking information out of the article word for word and putting it into your paper and then adding quotation marks to it, you are creating a quotation because you took it out word for word. And then we're going to add a citation, which is basically where you indicate where you got the information. So the first thing you're going to have to do, obviously, is find an article. We're not really doing a research project on this or anything, so it doesn't matter what the topic is. You can do a topic of your choosing, do a Google search for it. You're not going to use Wikipedia. You need to use an actual article of some sort, because when you do the citation, you're going to have the author's name and the year that the article was published. So if you can't find an author's name and or the year it was published, it's probably not a good article to use. So what you see here is I did a Google search for new dinosaur. I'm going to use this first article that came up. Okay, well, right away I can see that we have an author and we have a publication date. So that's good to remember. So I'm going to scroll down, see if I can find some information that I want to use. Okay, right here it tells me where it was discovered and when and who it was discovered by. So I think that's a good piece of information to use. If you look at this, you'll see that it's 2 sentences long, which is a good length for a quotation. It's not, obviously you can't copy and paste an entire article, so you want to do chunks here and there. And I'm just going to copy and paste that. So if I wanted to copy, I could either right click it or I could do Control C. And then I'm going to come over here to my Google Docs. You'll notice that I created a Google document. I'm going to share it with myself. You guys are going to share it with me as well. My email is stolsted@ccsd1.org, but it's also on the chalkboard behind you. And then I titled it Quotation, and that will allow me to see what you've done. And then I'm going to paste it, which is Control V. Let's see here. Oops. There it is. Okay, so there I have my piece of information in my Google Doc. And I need to put quotation marks around it because I took it from the article verbatim. So I'm copying something that somebody else wrote. So I have quotation marks. That makes it a quotation. And this part gets a little bit confusing for some people. I have to put in the citation. And it's going to be the author's last name, which was Jackson. And I can make sure of that. If I scroll up here. Okay, Amanda Jackson is the author. So I'm going to use Jackson, make sure it's capitalized. There we go. And the year it was published, right here, is 2016. Make sure I have parentheses around that. My computer's being really slow. Okay, now there's one more thing I need to do. I need to add a period after my quotation mark, or my parenthesis here. But I'm going to take away the period from the end of my last sentence. And that confuses people because you have to have a period at the end of a sentence. But the reason you do that is because what that does is show your reader that all of this information is from this source. And so it just kind of ties it all together. and then I have my quotation. So that's literally all you're going to do with this. When you get this part done, raise your hand. The sub will come over and check to make sure that you have your quotation marks, you have the citation in there correctly, and then you'll be able to, once this is done and you have shared it with me, then you'll go back to typing.com. So hopefully that's pretty cut and dry. You just want to find an article and then move a quotation over into a Google Doc and make sure that you share the Google Doc with me so that I can see it as well. And then once we've achieved this part, then we can take this little piece of information and we can create a paraphrase from it. So that's what we'll be working on next week. I guess, let's see. It will be Thursday. So if you have questions, go ahead and ask. You can always email me or send me a chat on email if you have questions and need to ask them. I'll be near around my computer, so let me know if there's any way that I can help, or ask the sub. I'm sure they can help as well. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks.